Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit. Hey, we're back with more live from the Heartland, and we're going to now what's become kind of a regular monthly segment of the show. I'm going to call it Cousin Adam. And it's my cousin, Adam James, who played football at Northwestern, and that's when we got to know each other. He came all the way from Hawaii, and he's now in L.A., and we've worked in some films together within the Andy Davis film world, and he's working on some other films. He's a personal trainer, and he knows a lot about sport and movies. So I've asked him to come on a regular basis, and here he is. He's coming fresh from a meeting. He's all ready to go. I think we're going to talk not only about the strike in Hollywood with Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild, but also we're going to talk a little soccer, a little baseball trades, what's going on in the hazing scandal up at Northwestern. And I think we're going to get to a little bit of, what was that other thing we were going to do? Oh, personal athletics. Which is something that everybody should be engaging in all the time. So, hello to you, Adam, out there in Los Angeles area. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Great to see you, Michael. Hello, everybody.
Hey, how's the weather out there? Is it real hot?
It's been hot. Yes.
We were lucky here. It's, it hasn't gone much over 85 here along the lake. It's quite cool today. Very nice. I always said this is the center of the universe. And this is where people should come and live, including people that are being shipped up here when they cross the border. Okay, so what do you got for us today, cuz?
Well, first of all, we were going to talk a little bit about the strike. And of course, the Heartland audience are very union-oriented and pro-union, and we greatly appreciate that. There was a rally held in New York City last weekend for the SAG-AFTRA strike, but also the writers. And what was impressive to me was how many fellow union people came out in support, not just members of these two unions, but also unions in general, standing together. It was a Times Square rally. Many celebrities came out to speak who were members of the SAG-AFTRA, but also, again, like leaders of major unions in New York City were there. They spoke. They talked about how New York is a union town. We need to stick together, all industries, all workers, all people, in order to make sure that everybody has a fair compensation, fair wages. So it was a really great rally. One thing that's going on with the strike that's kind of unique and interesting is that the union, SAG-AFTRA, is striking against the studios, basically. But there's also other filmmakers out there, independent filmmakers. And there have been exemptions made by SAG-AFTRA, the union, to allow some of these productions to go forward. So this has created a little bit of a controversy. There are some members of SAG-AFTRA, the union, who are not happy that some people are going to work. They feel like this, we all need to stand together. We all need to stop everything. And there are others that say, no, we have to recognize where the real focus is in regards to where the damages are occurring and where the opportunity for compensation, fair wages occurs. Independent films really aren't that. It's the studios and how they operate that is the concern. So there's definitely a little controversy there. There are some people who are actively out there doing some things, but there's others that are choosing to step away from those authorized projects. So, for example, I believe it was Viola Davis who has a project that was greenlit to continue, but she has stepped down. Brad Pitt also had a project that was going to be filming in Europe, independent of the studios. He also has said, I want to not work right now. I want to stand with my fellow union members. Yes.
There is this is broadcast, although you can get it a little earlier on Friday. You can get it on youtube.com Friday morning, I believe. It's Saturday morning, it's broadcast, but Friday afternoon, which is tomorrow from when we're broadcasting, there is a SAG-AFTRA rally downtown here in Chicago, along with SEIU. So there is a lot of support. And I haven't made it to one of those yet, and I probably won't have made it to the one that's on Friday, but I'm going to try to rework my schedule so I can. So let's keep going on what you got, Adam.
Well, brilliant. And again, I feel like right now is a critical time for this industry. This is a major transitionary point. on how we're going to continue to make product, how that product is delivered, and how the workers are compensated. So for those of you who are out there who are wondering how I can help, how I can support, yes, it would be amazing for people to come out to the rally in Chicago and the other rallies that are occurring. You can go to the SAG-AFTRA website, find out where rallies are occurring. Same thing with the Writers Guild. Lend your support, lend your voice, and look for opportunities to support this. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everybody.
Right on, brother. Well, how about you want to go to sports?
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little sports.
Fantastic. Love sports. A lot of action going on right now. Obviously, the summertime is a unique time every year. Some people love the summer sports scene. Oftentimes, there's different and fun events, things like the Olympics and World Cups. Right now, we've got the Women's World Cup going on, and it's really been a terrific championship tournament this year. There's some great stories occurring. One of those is the story about the national team from the Philippines, which is made up by a large portion of American citizens of Philippine ancestry who are able to play for the national team for the Philippines. And it's a really fascinating story about how a number of Filipino soccer fans, enthusiasts, had rallied this program. They got people here in the United States who were Philippine citizenship and ancestry able to try out for the team, made the national team, and then have really excelled. And it's just terrific to see how well they've done. So congratulations to that program and to the nation of the Philippines. And then, of course, our United States women's team, as a favorite to win the whole thing, haven't played to their excellent reputation as of yet, but are absolutely in it. And, in my opinion, still the favorites. Go USA. But yes, there's some other, strong teams out there. And that's actually makes it a better tournament, makes it a better sport to watch. And so it's really good for the sport of women's soccer.
Yeah, some big teams are out. Germany's out.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who else, but yeah, it's good. It's and Haiti's out too. People were watching them for a little bit. And I think Jamaica's in. And South Africa's in. Well, it's good. I don't grasp how soccer works very much. They just brought soccer in while I was playing football in high school, and it's the first time I was ever aware of it. I used to take my kids to soccer practice and games when they were little, but I do like watching it. I'm watching it more and more, and although you really got to get up in the middle of the night to watch the U.S. play. But I did wake up in the middle of the night to check their last game score.
Well, okay. Like you, I did not grow up playing the sport, but I have such a passion for the enthusiasm and the excitement that this sport generates. Many years ago, of course, the great Pele came to America and played for the Cosmos and the National North American Soccer League. But right now, there's a new superstar, Messi, who has come to the United States. It's kind of a similar story in that this superstar player, who is unquestionably the best in the world, has chosen to come and play for a team based in the United States, in this case, Miami. And
in last place.
but again, it's just part of building the sport, growing the sport, building that excitement. And he had a tremendous first appearance in that first game, second game as well. That team will do well this year. Might not win the whole thing, but it just adds a lot of value, excitement, and energy to the sport.
And he's younger while he's here than Pele was.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty impressive. I've been watching the news clips. I haven't watched any of the games with him, but there's plenty of pictures of him kicking a goal.
He does that quite a bit.
Let me see. How about baseball? You're out there in California. I don't know. I think you used to root for the Yankees. And I am going to go to a Yankee White Sox game on Monday night. One of my favorite players, Lucas Giolito, and a couple other players from the White Sox have all been traded away. And that's been going on around the league. Are you following this, and you want to give anybody a little bit of information?
Sure, absolutely. Well, for those of you who aren't huge baseball fans, this is the time of year when the trade deadline occurs. So it literally happened 2 days ago. Tuesday was the trade deadline. What happens in the sport of baseball is that teams that are in contention to possibly make the playoffs, possibly win a championship, they tend to want to trade for a player who's going to help them now, and they're willing to give up some future star players who aren't necessarily at their best, but could be. And so this is that transitioning time. And there were some amazing stories. Yes, the Sox decided to kind of
Unload everybody,
yes.
all the pitchers.
And then teams in Texas, for example, the Rangers and the Astros, they went all in. They said, this is our time. We want to win now. So it is a time that tough decisions are made. And that's where championships are won in a lot of ways, is these type of decisions. So it is exciting for those who really love the sport and watch it. But it also can be disappointing for people who are big fans of a team. And then they see their team, like maybe the New York Mets, who've decided this ain't the year, but keep coming to the games if you can.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of discounts. I know the White Sox traded Berger to a team down in Florida, and I don't know how their attendance is, but they lowered the price of hamburgers to $5 in his honor. Yeah, it makes me, in my case, with a couple of my favorite Sox pitchers, Lopez and Giolito going to the Angels, it makes me kind of like the Angels a little bit. I never was a great fan of them, but I did like Gene Autry, who was a famous cowboy back in the day and a country singer, and he was a Democrat. So, I'm watching them now. I'm kind of rooting for the Angels over there in that division. Any more baseball? We had enough baseball today.
Well, I thought we'd maybe take a moment to talk about each individual out there, all of us, and how valuable it is. Yes, we love to watch sports and talk sports, but even more, it's great to get out there and do sports, to do physical activity, athletics. So kind of on a wellness note, I wanted to take a moment to kind of encourage everybody out there, if you aren't currently involved in some type of physical activity, whether it's a sport or a workout program, to get started. And maybe we can cover a few tips on that today. Michael, what do you think?
I think that'll be great. And then when we're done with all that, we'll go back to Northwestern football.
Perfect. That sounds great. Well, what I want to just start with is just how important it is to start here. It's your attitude. It's your state of mind in regards to your approach to health and fitness. If you believe it's something that's important and valuable, and you have an enthusiasm for it, you're going to do it and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to get a lot out of it. So it really starts with that. I encourage people to have kind of a general attitude about exercise. It's kind of like brushing your teeth and taking a bath. You kind of need to do it on a regular basis. And if you do it on a regular basis, you're going to see really positive results. So that's to start. But it's so important to find something that you love, something that you enjoy, something that you gather with others, if that's what you like to do. And there's some other values that come from it, because if that's the case, you're going to do it more. So perhaps there's people out there that might like to start a softball game or a volleyball, whatever that sport might be that gets you out there. Pickleball is extremely popular. Have you been trying pickleball?
I pulled my hamstring the one time I tried it, but I'm open to trying it some more.
Well, good. Well, and that's actually segues into something that's also really important, especially for those of us as we get a little bit older, which we all do if we're lucky. It's important to make sure that you're being cognizant of all your health aspects as you start an exercise program. If you have some severe challenges, see your doctor, get some advice before you get started. I also highly recommend, you mentioned earlier that I'm a personal trainer. I have incredible respect and appreciation for those that dedicate themselves to the health and fitness world. So if you are starting this process, this journey, I encourage you to talk to somebody who is in this field. Talk to a personal trainer, a group exercise instructor. Ask for some advice, some suggestions, some tips, and that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, I think everybody is kind of born an athlete, full of energy and jumping around and playing and all that. And along the way, that gets taken out of us, out of some of us. But there is a lot of good things that go on in sports. I mean, learning how to work together, learning how to be aware of yourself and improving your own situation. Yes. And it's good for the planet too, and it's good for the body. Keep breathing in that oxygen. And what's your personal workout these days, Adam? I mean, you were on end when you were playing football at Northwestern. You went about 260 pounds. You're about 6'6". And then a couple years later, after you were done with playing football, you were like real skinny as a rail. You were down to about 210, maybe 220. How much you weigh these days? And what is your personal regimen? I know you train some people, but what do you do for yourself?
Well, weight-wise, I'm about 240, 245.
Well, you got back up there.
And exercise-wise, I am a martial artist, so I practice martial arts daily. I do a variety of different martial arts, and of course, I have my own organization, Rainbow Warrior Martial Arts. So I'm somebody who believes very strongly in that activity. A lot of passion for that. In fact, this weekend, when this show is airing, I'll be at Dragon Fest. I talked about that on a recent show. Dragon Fest is an annual fundraiser, expo, trade show for the martial arts industry here held in Southern California. It's to benefit the Martial Arts History Museum, which is located in Burbank. And it's a lot of fun. It's also a celebration of martial art movies, action movies. So there's a lot of action celebrities there, a lot of martial arts celebrities, a lot of fun. So if you're in Southern California, or if you want to take a drive out here or flight, Dragon Fest is a lot of fun. Check us out. But again, people can get out there and do anything, whether it's martial arts, tennis, golf, just get out there and
walking, running, swimming. Yeah.
Riding a bike, pogo stick.
The the Rainbow Warrior Martial Arts of yours, is there a website to that, or?
Absolutely. It's really easy. It's rainbowwarriormartialarts.com. And
we got to post that, and I'm going to go look at it. I've never looked at it. Okay, well, the way we started getting you back in it's been a last time and this time too, was we have this situation with our beloved football team up here in Evanston, which is about 5 miles away from where I am sitting right now. And I was up there this morning when I went to the Y to do my swim. We have a scandal that it's in the news still here. There was a former quarterback who yesterday is suing Northwestern football program or the university. What do you got? I know I've been pumping you on this for a few times now, but it's still ongoing. What do you know?
Well, as we talked about it, obviously there was a hazing that had been going on at Northwestern that had come to light and had cost the football coach and the entire program major pain. Football coach has been let go. He's been terminated. He's suing the university back in an effort to, claim wrongful termination. And it's really unfortunate. Something that you and I discussed when you first brought me on this is that hazing is nothing new. It's been going on in sports and in society. Anytime people have gathered, there's been, and this is basically organized bullying. And oftentimes organized bullying in a way that is authorized or approved or allowed or condoned by those truly in power, so to speak, to control this kind of thing. There's levels of that pretty much everywhere. It was funny because I was talking to a fellow ex-football player who played at another major university, a good friend of mine, and he was asking me about this hazing scandal. And I said, well, what's going on? We had hazing when I was there. And he said, oh, we didn't have hazing. We did it on the field. And I'm thinking, well, that's still hazing, whether you're on the field or in the locker room. If you're knocking a guy down for the intention of proving how tough you are and how weak he is or she, it's not appropriate. You want to be a teammate. You want to be out there and help them, get them better. And so it was just something that there's no doubt about it. These kind of things have occurred. It's the level at which the organization level, which was occurring at Northwestern, which is shocking. But it's great that this has come to light, and it's important. And it's important to get it straight and get it right. What I would encourage everybody out there who's listening to this to do is to support Northwestern's athletic programs at this point. There have been issues; those have been or are being addressed. But in the meantime, the university itself and the athletes, student athletes that are out there performing, would love to get your support. This is not the time to turn your back on the Wildcats. This is a time to support us. So I would encourage anybody out there who is thinking about how they can help by giving a cheer. Come on out to a game, a baseball game, a women's softball, a volleyball game. Come out to the football team. Watch us play. It's a great thing.
Are you in touch with many other former players that you played with? I know you are with Mike Williams, but I'm just wondering if this might be a reason for a lot of you to get in touch with each other. And
a teammate of mine is the president of the Northwestern University African American Alumni Association, and he put out a statement just the other day, and it is something that I really want to do and strive to do, is maintain that connection, because it's a great university. It's something that I encourage everybody out there to do, is maintain those positive relationships with those institutions and those people that have come from in your past who've benefited you. I encourage people to reach back out to their alumni, their alma mater, to their friends and family members who maybe they haven't talked to in a long time, because that's an important thing to do in our life.
Well, I got to say, I've been rooting for Northwestern since you went to play there, even almost as much as I root for Lake Forest, where I played. A little different level, but Adam James, cousin, it's great to have you on the show. Get ready for another month from today, and we'll have you back. And I'll talk to you before that.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Right on.